Welcome to the Fantasy Goons podcast, part of the Pucks Out family. It's time to skip the book and find out the info you need to win your league with Bobby, Davey, and Brandon.
Welcome into the Fantasy Goons. I'm Bobby, he's Davey, he's Brandon.
Hello.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at the Fantasy Goons. Now let's get into it and get you the info you need to be a champ. How are you guys this week?
Awesome. Doing great. Full slate of hockey on tonight, boys. It's,
Yeah.
some of my favorite nights.
How'd you guys do last week in fantasy?
Not great.
I did great in our leagues. And
Not great.
other
I-
ones, not so much. But
The fantasy gods refused to let me go 5-0. I went another week of 4-1, and I don't know what's happening. I cannot go 5-0 to save my life.
I hear you there.
I have I would just settle for a winning record throughout the week. It's just been a rough go of it for me. Injuries are hitting me. I mean, it's
Yeah, and this, which is leads into news almost. The Ottawa Senators too. Now with this COVID, I had a couple players on their team now that I have to rework. There's one league right now where I can't even move anybody to IR or anything.
yeah.
So
Bobby probably runs that league. He's garbage at roster.
it's tough. I had to
management,
dump. I had to get rid of Tim Stutzla, who's, I mean, he may be a droppable player at this point, but it was a tough drop. So I went and grabbed. I think I either got Ryan Hartman on that one, or I don't remember who else. But I had to make some tough decisions. But yeah, I guess that's part of it.
And Rem Pitlick are looking
Yeah,
good.
yeah, looking great.
You know, and
Oh, Pavel Zacha.
It is the curse of old Preds players going to Minnesota.
yeah, right.
the thing is, guys, I might just give up on fantasy hockey altogether because I mean, this is, it's been a very challenging past couple of weeks for me in fantasy hockey. The Chicago Blackhawks are currently looking to hire a new public relations manager. And so in there, I can always continue to lose in hockey games. I can't get worse as the public relations manager for the Blackhawks. So maybe I'll just apply for that job.
Perfect.
Does
New
Chinese
calling, man.
basketball have fantasy? That seems right up your alley.
You'd be good
It
at
does. It does. Well, mostly, I only know the players that are not good because I generally bet the unders.
Okay.
But I've expanded from just Chinese basketball unders to I also bet on Japan and Korea.
Okay.
And women and Japanese women basketball games.
What about North Korean basketball? I bet they only hit unders.
They
Or no, actually, it's all overs because they tell everyone that they scored
Kim Jong-un.
5,000 points.
it's all
Probably.
all Kim Jong Un. You
Yeah.
just bet on him.
He's always the 101.
He plays 1v5. So no, haven't seen any North Korean over unders, but yeah, maybe I should get into the Asian basketball game, fantasy game, because
We're out
hockey,
somewhere and we're talking about how we're playing the Asian market or the Chinese market,
Oh,
and
man.
everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you." It's like, yeah, the unders. They're like, "Well, I don't know that term."
Oh my gosh, what are you, an idiot? But we gotta be like straight up like 90s stockbrokers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you
With the
have to.
The blue
yeah.
shirt with the white
Massive,
collar and the
yeah.
suspenders.
suspenders and stuff.
Oh,
like,
man.
sorry,
You
got
guys-
the Asian market.
So let me tell you about Huey Lewis in the news.
You guys you've seriously thought about this before? Like, this is
Never. We've never talked about it.
But it was very clear we both had the same mindset about it.
Right.
I mean, right before I go to bed, it's always nice to wake up and find out whether my Asian basketball under hit. or
Yeah.
not.
Oh, first thing you look at, yeah.
First thing in the morning, I'm like, oh heck yeah! It determines my day. Some people are like, oh,
Fair.
this is going to be a good day. My day is only dependent on how much money I won or lost that previous night.
And he
Oh,
has to check
gosh.
it because much like the first episode of the Squid Game, he doesn't want to meet his bookie in a bathroom somewhere. His
I do
Chinese
not.
bookie.
Yeah, no,
course.
I don't want that at all. I don't want that, and I feel like I'm losing as much as they're talking about. But like they're like, oh, 10,000 won. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of money. That's like $40, and I'm like, oh, I should be.
That's how you should start telling Stephanie how much you win. Be like, I
Yeah.
won 10
I
billion
just
won.
won a million won.
Oh, beautiful.
That's like $1,000.
Take it.
Nathan McKinnon injury. I believe he's out for another week or two, possibly. So stay updated on that. Obviously, that's very fluid, changing all the time. Weekly impressions. The Preds, they're big names, are they? And maybe for the first time in a while, they're good. I mean, Matt Duchene, Ryan Johansson, actually looking like they're worth their contract. I mean, now with that means that Philip Forsberg has been struggling a little bit, but it's
Been
Philip
injured.
Forsberg.
Been injured.
Yeah, he's also Philip Forsberg, so he just sometimes decides not to play for a month, but then the next month will come out and just light it up.
He was playing really well before he got
Yeah.
hurt. So
Well, is Forsberg a guy that they're going to re-sign? Like,
Man, honestly, I guess that's one of those ones I don't know. I mean,
I would say-
obviously I would like to see it as a fan, but
does that affect his
depends
performance at
on
all, or
the
is this just hot and
number.
cold? It doesn't, I don't know.
No.
I mean, I think it has to.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Weighing
mean,
on him, maybe.
contract guys usually come out and really dominate. I mean,
Yeah.
Albert Hainsworth. I mean,
Like he,
remember what that guy did in contract years? You sign that guy to a 1-year deal, you're about to get 30 sacks.
yeah.
If he has a 7-year deal, he's like, bro, I don't have to do anything for 6 years.
Yeah, it's true,
yeah.
And it that doesn't feel like the type of player he is. I mean, I think the number matters though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
dude's. I mean, how much you guys paying him right now?
His performance over the last several years, max number, I'd go 6.5 is the
Okay.
max.
I was
I
about
mean,
to say 5.5.
I was thinking he was right around the same area. I was probably going to say no more than
He-
7.
he's
name 6.5. Name buys you $1 million.
Yeah,
you
to
know,
think that, like,
for the Preds.
What's Duchesne getting a year? 7,
I think
8.
8.5.
8.
Yeah,
Well-
too much money.
Too
Not-
much.
I mean, not for
Not-
now.
no,
but
listen, right now he's worth it.
Right.
$8.5 million.
But he's been getting that for like 2 years.
Yeah, so realistically, he needs to be playing like a $16 million player.
Yeah. He needs to be looking like Leon Draisaitl out there right now.
Exactly.
Bond, what are your impressions of this past week?
I don't have anything written down. But I mean, I really love. I mean, the teams that we didn't think would be good are semi good. Still kind of sticking to the same theme. We got a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are close right there at the cusp of the playoffs. We're not really getting any separation after a month as we sit right now. I mean, a team like Boston being 4th in the Atlantic at 8-5. I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're not
and
getting
like Colorado 6-5 or whatever they are. It's like it's
exactly
what's going on with some of them.
Just
but-
very surprised at at some of the placings of some of the teams, and I mean, we're just not really seeing any. I mean, I would say there's a few teams that have separated themselves from the pack. The Canes, the Panthers, Oilers are looking extremely good. Wild are looking pretty good, but not a lot of separation even from those teams.
It's going to be
from
tight
the teams
in the
right
Central,
under. Yeah, I mean, and it's looking like a lot of the divisions are going to be tight.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, 82 games. Yeah, I mean, this makes for fun hockey.
You're right.
I mean, there's some teams that you'll say, Arizona,
And
they're terrible.
The good news with that too is that there's usually a lot more fantasy relevant players when your teams are performing like this. So
Absolutely, this type of season is absolutely great for fantasy. We will see kind of where it goes from there, but that's just kind of something that stuck out in my mind.
cool. Yeah, I'm. My weekly impression is that I'm just curious. Like, are the Ducks for real? Like, they've won 7 games in a row now. Troy Terry and Ryan Getzlaf are leading the way in points right now. Terry with 20 and Getzlaf with 17. I mean, that's pretty good numbers. I mean, Troy Terry, if I had to tell you his name last year, you'd be like, what? I mean,
I would have known it, but I mean,
but you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
fans
you
would.
was he relevant in fantasy? I'm not entirely, So, I mean, Adam Henrique's right there with 13 points, Shattenkirk with 13, Cam Fowler with 12. Like, they've got some guys that are actually stepping up, and it's fascinating to me that they're actually performing, because this is a team I think coming in most people didn't even have any thoughts about, and so I just like to see it for a team like that, and it's been fun.
All right, so let me hit you with this. Main show, we actually did our first month of the season review.
Yeah.
And one of the questions we had was the surprisiest surprise. That was Bobby's words, not mine. I'm not
Surprise you.
and so our 2 answers were Detroit and Anaheim.
Yeah.
What's your thought process on that? Which you think is obviously
I
more surprising?
I think you nailed it. I mean, you nailed the 2 teams that
Yeah.
I think that we would all say.
But if you had to pick and say which one of us was right, I'm not going to tell you who picked who.
Okay, fair. Give me Anaheim on this one all day. The reason being
You're an
is
idiot, Bobby. You're an idiot.
you're ahead of a team like Vegas.
I think at the end I ended up agreeing with you.
He
I-
did.
Yeah,
He did. I really sold him down the river.
Like
for that.
he made his point, and I then made the same point for him.
I think-
because I literally was talking about Troy Terry.
I really do think though that I'm not going to side, but I think that Detroit, they have a tougher division. Theoretically, you'd think they'd have a tougher division with teams like Florida, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Boston, right?
Bunch
like
of garbage teams.
this year, Boston's not playing very well. But and then you look at Anaheim and you see Edmonton, who's theoretically in the past not been so hot, and Vegas to me is the one that takes it over there. But so it seems like Anaheim doesn't have as many teams to compete with over there. But I'm making that up this year because it's completely different, obviously.
Well, and I'm giving him a hard time, but no, we kind of talked through it. I agree that Detroit was a surprise team, but we've been talking about Detroit potentially being who they are,
getting a
for
chance
a
to
few
go up.
years. Whereas Anaheim didn't really make a lot of moves, didn't really change the roster they had from one of the worst teams last year. And so that was my thought process. I think they're both very surprising. So I was laughing to see that you had put that on the dock because that's completely. I agree 100%.
All right, let's move into our pickups. I'm starting off with Matt Zuccarello, right winger from the Wild. He has become an assist machine when he's attached to Kaprizov. He has 6 in his last 10, and that number is going to keep skyrocketing. The Wild are red hot right now.
I think that's his second time on this list, and
I think
long
I had
as
him
he
last
has
week,
as long as he has low numbers of ownership, I don't see any reason why we don't just continue to hammer this home
exactly.
to people. It's a steal pick. It's stupid for one of us to not put him on there every single week,
right? And that
it
kind of goes back to I think it was last week's episode where we had said the Wild. Just there's like 4 or 5 guys who are like less than 30% owned.
I think Hartman was the guy last
right.
week. And Fiala's made an appearance.
Marcus Foligno and Eriksson Ek, like guys like that are still available in a majority of leagues. So be paying attention. Good pick on Zook there for sure.
Maybe people will actually listen to you and pick him up as opposed to not listening to me a few weeks ago.
I wonder if he went up. I wonder if he went up.
He's at currently when I last checked, he's at 30% available.
That is
he went
not.
up.
He went up.
I'm sorry, 30% rostered.
Yeah. What do you?
Matt Zuccarello is 30% rostered.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
that's what we figured you were saying. But that's higher than when I said it because I think it was 21 something around there.
And I had said it too one time, and I think it was like.
Maybe you said it. I knew one of us did.
I got to go back and see because I want to see what that jump is.
It is just absolutely absurd that he's 30% owned right now on a team that is playing so well. Great pick. I'm going to go kind of off the rails here a little bit. Something that we probably don't give enough love to is, and that a lot of people like, especially people that have never really played a lot of fantasy hockey. I'm going to go for the banger here.
Yeah.
Banger leagues are super fun. Some people really have has a hook into them. We got a couple of heavy hitting leagues where top 3-5 guys are guys that are 4 or 5% rostered. This is a guy that will give you some good stats across the board anyway. It's not a guy that you're going to go out and get in your regular scoring points league, but Garnet Hathaway, right wing for the Caps. He's playing overall good hockey, but again, a major asset in bangers leagues. 3 goals, 1 assist for the year. So you're going to get a little bit out of him at different places. 28 shots on goal. So you're going to get a little shots on goal there. 49 hits and 7 blocks. That's We're talking in the course of, I don't recall exactly how many games they played, but 12 to 15 games, this guy's got 49 hits.
Yeah.
That's if your league is a points hits league, you can't really go wrong with that.
No, not at all.
So I wanted to give a little love there. 6% rostered. That's
6, okay.
probably about right. Well, another thing for bangers leagues that Hathaway is going to bring is that he's a right wing, and so it's a place that you're maybe not normally going to get a bunch of hits. Like you're going to have a lot of defensemen that have a bunch of hits, but getting that right wing spot filled up, or a couple years ago, and I mean, I'm sure still to this point, left winger and Lawson Krause over in Arizona. He's usually gonna lay some folks out for you. The guy from Anaheim this year that I've picked up in a couple places, he's been really good as just a general. Deslauriers,
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll know it if you see it for sure. He's fifth in that league. So, what do you got, Davey?
Well, I looked up last week, and I had Wild as stream of the week, and Zuccarello was 28% rostered, is where he was there. So he only went up 2%, but still, I think that's going to go
I think
up,
that's
but
pretty much us.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
that
it could
was
be.
Us that brought up those two.
We all went and grabbed them, but I've got this week for for pickups. I've got New Jersey Devils players. I mean, I like to give you a team on this section, like I did with Wild and other things in the past, but I like to give you multiple players for teams like the Devils right now. Pavel Zacha is available, center left wing capabilities. Got 11 points with 7 goals, 4 assists. Getting first line action with Tatar and Nico Hischier. He's also on the first power play unit. He's only 15% rostered. Majority of this Devils team is only right in that line with that 15%. This is Jesper Bratt. He's 9% rostered. He's got left wing, right wing capability, 11 points as well. This one is 4 goals, 7 assists. Second line with first line power play exposure as well. And then one more. The rookie Dawson Mercer plays center for the Wild. He's on the second line, and he's also on the first power play unit. Those 3 guys I named are all under 20% rostered, all playing first line power play unit and playing first and second line with the New Jersey Devils, who aren't necessarily a great team but are playing better. And all of these guys are available. Dawson Mercer might even be up for the Calder this year, so that's awesome. Could be one of those guys you grab. Early season like Kirill Kaprizov last year, where he wasn't hot initially, but then he stepped into gear. But just my take. New Jersey Devils players, I'm keeping my eye on some of them.
Let's move into stream of the week. I've got the Sharks. I believe they've got 4 games this week. They've got the Canes. They've got Ottawa. Maybe we'll see what happens with that. Toronto and Chicago. They are performing above the expectations I had for them this season, and I think because of that, some of their players may not be widely taken in many leagues. I've actually dropped Timo. I've been able to drop Timo Meier and pick him back up like 4 times this season, and just stream him multiple times because nobody's picking him up. But he's like, I bring him back, and he's got dual eligibility. I think at least I think 1 week he had dual eligibility, and he's just a good little stream. And he's one of their top players.
I'm streaming the Preds. I know we talked about the Preds already a little bit earlier, but they've got 4 games.
Even with them losing. I'm sorry. This is next week.
Yeah, this is next week. Yeah. I like the teams they're playing. Like, so they've got, and I know we talked, Ducks, but they've got the Ducks, the Knights, the Devils, and Avalanche. And I know I've been talking highly of some of those teams on that list recently, but I think Nashville is the better team in some of these categories, and they're looking good. I mean, we got a full week of team with similar records. We could see some identities begin to form this week for the Preds and some of these other teams with similar records like Ducks and but keep your eyes on Tanner Jeannot for Nashville as well.
I think this is a big week for them.
Yeah.
As far as this is the litmus test for them. Not just for them, this is the litmus test for the Ducks as well.
Yeah.
Let's see and I'm interested to see how they perform against Colorado.
Yeah, for real. That's gonna be fun. It'll be fun to watch.
I think I might be going to some of those games. I'm not sure yet. I have to look at the thing. I don't know if I'm going to any of those games, but I maybe.
You should.
Brandon, what do you got?
I got the, as much as I hate this, I got the Blues for this week. 4 games: Vegas, Red Wings, Blackhawks, Blue Jackets. Some teams that are playing good, but definitely winnable games. There's some good pieces available for the Blues. I like where their games are placed. We got a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, and a Saturday game. There's no Thursday games this week.
Wonder why.
Yeah, I mean it's not like it's Canadian. It's not like it's Canadian Thanksgiving or something.
Right.
I don't know. Get it up. But yeah, Vegas is playing better. Detroit's playing well. I think you can go out and put some points up on the Blackhawks. I'm just liking what the Blues are doing right now. So unfortunately, I will be picking them and trying to stream some of their guys in. Not super high owned options.
I will be at that Vegas game, that Preds Vegas game.
Yeah, good choice. That'll be fun.
All right, let's move into our tail and fade. I'm tailing the Avs. it's time for them to take it to their top gear. They've been showing a little bit of struggle. They've had some rust this beginning of the season, but it's time for them to be who we thought they were. And I think that I think they're close to turning that corner. So if there probably be some guys out there available. I don't know who took McKinnon's spot. But you can probably take whoever took the guy. You probably
Kerfoot.
So whoever took,
I think you're right.
So whoever
yeah.
took Kerfoot's spot, it might be available.
It's like center, left wing, right wing
Yeah.
capabilities on him. I think. Yeah.
Triple eligibility.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
surprised he didn't make it into our.
So
Right.
I'm taking the Avs. I think that they are about to turn it up a notch. I think they're about to be a point scoring machine.
Yeah, I like that pick. That's solid, and I think you're right. I think we're going to see Colorado step their shit up now.
Hopefully they do it after they play the Preds, which again,
Right,
I mean,
right.
same division. They'll meet the Preds again another 3 times or something.
After though, but you picked them this week, and they play like the Preds at the end of the week.
Yeah,
I'm tailing the Blue Jackets this week. They've got 4 games: Buffalo, Winnipeg, Canucks, Blues. They've been surprising. Honestly, they've surprised the hell out of me. Laine he's not quite back to original form. They've been fun to watch so far. Bjorkstrand's playing good hockey. Laine's getting close to form. I'm not sure they're going to keep this up, but I think it's going to be a good week. Some of these teams, I think they're actually going to be able to beat. I think they're going to go in there and take 3 out of 4 this week. But I don't think they're going to settle in and be this team the whole year. I think that that's just happening like this as we see it. I don't think it's going to continue to go this way. I think it's going to be another mediocre year. But I do think they are going to outperform the Philadelphia Flyers, and I'll win the bet.
I was gonna make a joke
Not
myself
happening.
about the bet.
Not happening.
Oh, who's even winning that garbage bet that you guys make every
Pretty
year?
close, but
It's super close for sure. Currently, they are literally tied. Flyers are 7-4-2 with 16 points, 13 games played. 13 games played for Columbus. They're 8-5-0. Personally, I would say that Columbus is clearly winning that, but they got them ranked lower than. Well, it's not even a plus minus thing. I don't understand how I guess one more official loss.
I guess, yeah.
I would say wins rank higher than amount of losses,
Right.
but it doesn't matter. I'm going to be able to throw water on both you guys because neither of those teams are making the playoffs. So I guess moving into me, I've stolen this one from folks. Another team that is playing really good hockey, the Winnipeg Jets. They have 4 games this week as well. Penguins, Blue Jackets, Wild, and Flames. A tough schedule this week. I think they're going to rise to the occasion, and we're going to see some goals scored in all 4 of those contests. The Jets I was pretty high on them at the beginning of the season. I really need, as a owner across multiple leagues, because I thought I stole him, I'm going to really need Blake Wheeler to step up his game.
Yeah.
Blake, get it together. My teams are falling apart. Yeah, I know your real life team is doing okay, but my teams are not. Hard to argue with a lot of what they're putting on the table. So, Jets. Sorry, I stole from you guys. I don't know if you guys
you're
have any
good.
other commentary on them.
I like watching them. I think it's a team that is due to be even better. They're always, it just seems like the same. It just doesn't seem like they rise above that level they're at. And we could see it this year with a central division that's, not where we thought it would be with Avalanche, lower than a lot
Right.
of these teams. So it could be fun.
Well, right now, apparently, the rivalry, if playoffs started right now, the rivalry is renewed. The Preds and the Jets would be playing each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, I like Winnipeg Wild playing each other because they're right close there. I feel like it could be a rivalry in some way, shape, or form, but I'm all right
Winnipeg
with it.
would technically be playing the Blues
Yeah,
right now
yeah.
if it happened.
That's just what I want.
So, yeah. Well, we don't always get what we want.
I
now,
know.
do
We can't even
Davey?
talk about Dallas, and I hate it, so I don't get that either.
Yeah, we should probably just steer clear of that on this fantasy show, right?
Right.
All right, I guess it's moving back into me. I am going with the easiest choice. Could obviously be a choice for any week. I usually have a pretty strict criteria of why I'm putting a team as a fade. This one has never been an easier choice. I'm going with the Arizona Coyotes. They are 1-13 and
Shocker.
They have 2 games this week. One against the Oilers on a really heavy game day. And then they might actually get a win on Saturday. They're playing the Stars, so no. But I mean, no. I feel like, the opposite joke is to be made. The Stars may get a win here and be able to go to 500.
Be nice, yeah.
It is. They're a abysmal team. There is really no value to be had there. Even the players that you thought could be sneaky under the radar value, they've not really shown anything, especially if you're in a plus minus league.
I've got to ask you guys a question. I want your honest opinion here. So Shane Gostisbehere is the bright spot for the Phoenix or the Arizona Coyotes this year, right? He's got 2 goals, 10 assists, 12 points. It's only -1. He's a defenseman, right? He's leading the team in points by a long shot. I've got 2 guys. This is my ESPN league with my North Dakota guys. Check this out. And I want your opinion because I might make some moves here, and it's a very tough decision. So I've got Rasmus Ristolainen on D right now,
okay,
who's got 0 goals, 2 assists, +0, and I mean, no power play points. Shane Gostisbehere's 2 goals, 10 assists, 12 points, 4 power play points, -1. Rasmus Ristolainen is 80% rostered. Shane Gostisbehere's 20%. I'm not getting anything out of Rasmus Ristolainen or Pulock, Ryan Pulock Islanders. I've got both those guys, right? Those 2 guys, Rasmus Ristolainen, Ryan Pulock, both playing trash on defense right now, not getting me any points. And then you got Shane Gostisbehere, does play for the Arizona Coyotes, but it's way better numbers. I want to drop one of these defensemen and grab Gostisbehere. What do we think? Like, even if you think about it, like, we've got 2 defensemen who are relatively,
no question.
I mean,
I'm dropping him, no question. He was a superstar for the
Right.
Sabres for a while. I think we've talked about this on the show before. Can't be keeping names.
I know.
Especially
It's
since
tough.
even the past few years, Ristolainen has really dropped off. I mean, he was a great leader for Rasmus Dahlin.
Yeah.
I personally love Ristolainen. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Gostisbehere showed some real promise in Philadelphia. Then Provorov came in and he kind of went back burner. Pulock, I think, he probably should be giving you more. We talked about this on the main show. They've literally not had a home game yet.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
really tough on a team. Over the course of 12 games, and they're sitting okay at 5-5-2.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I hate to say this, because he is my boy, Rasmus Ristolainen is. I mean, if you're dead set on dropping one of those 2, I think that the value that is going to come to you from Pulock, who I would imagine isn't losing a lot of time. I would imagine. Oh, he's out.
He's out tonight. Yeah.
I mean, that makes it tougher, but
depending on what it is.
20 minutes a game for Pulock, and Ristolainen not getting nearly that much, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, I mean, well, about the same.
I don't know. It's just one of those ones where, even for the listeners, like, it is tough. Like, I've got 2 defensive players who have names who are playing like trash, and this is not a league where there's hits and blocks. And so,
I think it's. I mean, that's tough on. I mean, either way, I think you would be remiss to not drop one of those 2.
I
think
no choice.
I think I'm dropping Ristolainen. He's probably going to be the guy that gets picked up easier. So if it's like you want to go back and get one of them,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I say drop Pulock and hope that you can come swing back around and grab him. But if you're, I mean, just rest of season, I would pick Pulock. Bobby, what are you thinking?
I would agree.
Really good analysis there.
Beautiful. I like it. Thanks. I'm going to make that move.
Keep it short. Keep it sweet.
Yeah. So I'm fading Seattle Kraken this week. Just not playing good hockey. They've got 3 games: Carolina, Tampa Bay, and Florida, who are all great teams. Seattle's just they're just not what I mean, I don't think anyone had high hopes with them coming into the season. But I think I was having a little bit more than what I'm seeing.
Feel vindicated if we're being
a little
honest.
bit. Jordan Eberle has 12 points. He's leading their team in points. I mean, Grubauer has just been an absolute disaster for me in fantasy.
I'm dropping Grubauer in a couple leagues, to be honest.
I'm not having a good time with him, and he's one of my main goalies in one of my leagues, and it's very unfortunate at this point.
This is one of those times where I'm like, showing my hand to some of the people I play with, so that to help the listeners out there. But if John Gibson is available in some leagues out there, and if you have Grubauer, drop Grubauer, go get John Gibson for a because chances are Grubauer might be there in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, Seattle's not looking good. And I mean, no matter how good of a goaltender you are, if you have a crap team in front of you, you're not great for fantasy.
Right.
Like John Gibson's looking decent in some leagues right now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Especially saves. I mean, if you need a guy to come in and get you some saves, that's going to be a good option. I agree. I've been kind of touting Gibson, not super high or anything. I'm not saying I'm the guy that's
Pretty sure you said he's a 101, but I mean,
I did take him at the 101. Well, my second round, because everybody knows that I took Sebastian Aho, number 1 overall, wherever I could take him. So.
What is the update on Sebastian Aho? Is he? I mean, I think I only got him in one league in a keeper league. Is he?
He's doing okay.
Holding up to the value of a first overall for you? Not first overall, but your first pick.
No, not really. I mean, in terms of that's really hard value to keep up with, but I mean, it's not. Well, it's not one of those
compared to who
like,
you might have taken at that spot. If you look at like guys he's compared to,
probably not.
You took Islanders, Sebastian Aho, right?
yeah. I think we made that joke. We were at the Preds game, and all I saw was Sebastian Aho, and I'm like, this is a misprint. So I get on ESPN, I'm like, and I look at him like, did a trade happen and we just ignored the trade?
I told you guys, I'm really big on the Islanders this year. No, I mean, we're talking in peck of the litter. I mean, 71. I mean, I'm not. It's one of those very able to shift. He's not hurting me at that pick. I mean, I definitely could have in some leagues got a better pick that's probably ranked higher. I at this point am not regretting my pick. It's not like he's.
I think it's too early to regret it.
Sure. When I mean, and I'll tell you, not regretting, but a player that that'll really hopefully step up with this next homestand. Barzal. I mean, but a lot of the Islanders have looked not so great. But I mean, that's really easy to do when you play 13 games away from your home stadium. I mean, in a row. I'm not as much as FanDuel thinks that I am. No, I'm not cashing out my bet for half the money right now. Okay, like it's not over. They're 5-5-2 for goodness sake.
Was it for Islander Stanley Cup?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, so do I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup? No, not if they keep playing like this. But I'm not throwing in the towel on them as a team.
You should double down. Show DraftKings you're here.
It's FanDuel, but
show FanDuel you mean business.
I bet you I can get in with better odds now.
So you'd be losing money if you didn't.
I'm basically letting all of my money go to waste if I don't put every
entire
dollar
savings.
Stephanie, we're betting it all on the Islanders.
House is up for collateral. All right, guys. I have Ottawa. Here's the thing: the week of recording, they're not playing. We don't know if they'll be back next week. We don't. I mean, if some of these guys contracted COVID in the last couple of days, it's a 2-week period. They may not be playing a single game next week. So don't rush out this week, or don't rush out this week and get Ottawa players for next week because we don't know if they're going to be playing. Yeah. So I would hold tight on Ottawa players even next week because it's too unknown. And sometimes in fantasy, it can be good to play the unknown and maybe get a leg up. Not in this kind of situation.
Yeah, right. I mean, we do this for next week, so you guys have a game plan to go into. What we really would suggest, at least what I would suggest, is using our thought process for next week and get some value within the week that you're in. Get that team that also has a Sunday game and then has 4 games next week.
Yeah.
Or you can get a back-to-back Saturday, Sunday game and then move a guy. And then you don't have to those valuable transactions.
There were some Ottawa guys you can drop. For example, I'm not dropping Tomas Chabot, but there are some Ottawa guys that you could probably drop. And
I'd probably get rid of Brady. He's pretty garbage as is. So if you want to trade him over here, I'll take him.
Get rid of Brady.
Come on. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Good luck on your games, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
This has been the Fantasy Goons podcast, brought to you by Standing Stone Farms. Listen to the boys every week and join in on the conversation on the 3 majors of social media.